Hi everybody, this is Diane. I know I keep changing my mind about things. I said I probably wouldn't do any process videos for the Tulip journal because I'm focusing more on destashing and organizing. But I'm spending an hour a day. This is going to be a little, I've already spent like half an hour on what I've done today. And but I'm going to do probably about 45 minutes here with you. So I figured since I'm going to be spending that much time working on it, I might as well do a video. And another thing I changed my mind on is that I was not going to be able to use this, and I was going to put it in a bundle with whatever leftover tulip things I had. But look at this. It would be a perfect pocket on the front cover. So I think that's where it's going to go. I will cover this with something else. I'm waiting to see how fat the signatures get before I make my cover, because I don't know. I'd like to keep the spine to 1.5 inches instead of my normal 2 inches on this, just because the book is so big and I think it will make it less unwieldy. It's not huge, you know, I've made bigger, but I think 1.5 inches would be nice if I can do it. If not, I have a lot of ephemera and I want to use a lot of ephemera, so it might end up being 2 inches. So what I've done is I started the stenciling while you were watching, so I finished the stenciling and I added lace and I sewed on some fabric pieces, the flips. I did make flips in yellows and pinks and reds, tulip colors, but I decided they were too small for these big pages. I didn't make them big enough. Plus I had found these two tulip embroidery linen pieces yesterday or the day before when I was organizing my linen, so I wanted to use them. And then I also had this bead sack fabric that I hadn't used in a fabric flip. So I used the 2 embroidered linens and a piece of that to make new fabric flips. And I just selected a few pieces and put them on cardstock, so they're all ready to be glued on the front of each signature to be a large, unique shaped pocket. So let's do those first, and you'll get to see all of the fun pieces that I picked. This is a copy. I've talked about this little book that I bought a few years ago quite a few times because I love it. I believe it's from the 30s or maybe earlier. It was a children's activity book, and it was the cheap kind of paper, so it's very fragile. So I made copies of it. And it's just so sweet, and this one has to be on here. So I glued her to white cardstock and then cut her out. And now she's a perfect little pocket. And I can put a nice large, maybe these large tags will go in this front pocket. That works for this one. Let it dry first. This one is a vintage piece, and it might even be Victorian era. The other pieces that of ephemera that I got in the bundle where this was were Victorian pieces, so I'm going to go ahead and say it's Victorian. I think I made digital with this, but this is the original because I need to use it. It needs to go somewhere. I don't need to hoard it, so this is a perfect place for it. So putting it onto cardstock helped support it, of course, and it's got some little squared off edges because those tips were broken off because this was a fragile page. It doesn't feel fragile at all now. So I'm going to glue this on, and I just want to know how it needs to be glued. I could glue it here, here, and here and have this all open, or I could glue it here and have it open here. I don't know what I'm going to put in it. I think these tags might be a little bit too big for these shaped. They could go in a pocket that's just going to be a nice, square shape, so it can go pretty much down to the edge of the page. something large, but not too large. I know, I'm being picky. Okay, maybe that could go in there, and that, I think I could glue it down at this point, this point, this point, and this point. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this one is from, I glued it on upside down because it was too hard to glue it, or not glue, paper clip. It was easier to paper clip a flatter surface edge. So anyway, this is from an Ideals book. You can see it's from the cover. This is the glossy side, and this is the flat side, the matte side that was on the inside of the book. I had to cut off part of it, and I think it's okay. I'm wondering if I should move it back a little bit more to keep this further away from the edge of the page. No, I think I'll just leave it the way it is. So I put the glue down this edge and at the bottom. If you remember, if you saw the daffodil journal that I made, I did the same thing with an Ideals image with a daffodil from the inside book cover. Now, if I can put something, I think, I want to put this in here. Yes, that will work. I am going to glue that little point down. And then this will go inside that pocket. And I decided not to use the large tags, so I have to find something else to go in here. I just want to make sure I have the correct ephemera for all the places, so I don't, you know, decide I'll put one here and then use that same image someplace else or whatever. I want to make sure I have enough to go around. I think that would be pretty behind her, that pretty embossed edge framing her, and I will find something to put there. This is a card that I just got in a Happy Mail yesterday from Carolyn. Thank you, Carolyn. Perfect. I was just looking through my pieces. I don't think I want to put a tulip there, but if that was a little, oh, I got glue there, I gotta be careful. If that was a little smaller, that would be perfect in there. Oh, this is also something I want to add before I forget. This is just a little organza ribbon bow that I made to go on, was it this piece? Yeah, I think it was going to go on this piece. There are lots of colors in this journal. I'm using a digital set from Chapter 1 Papers, but it only has 3 pages in it and a lot of ephemera. And there's a lot of pink in that set. But The ideals pages and other tulip images have a lot of red and yellow. So there's bright colors and pastel colors. I'm hoping that this glue, when it sets, is going to hold that bow down. I'll show you the other pieces of fabric I used for flips. I think that's dry now. I just put a piece of yellow fabric behind it and some red rickrack. And that can go in there. And this is what the VTech fabric looks like with a little eyelet beading lace. I put that red ribbon through there, and this lace was already attached to the eyelet piece. So I think they look pretty. I didn't add other fabrics to this because I wanted it to, I just wanted to showcase the tulips. So let's look for a label or something that can go here. And if I can't find one, I have dies, I'm sure, in label shapes that would work there. And I can just cut one out in the right color. It's a little too big, and some of that gold shows through the lattice work there. I'm not doing anything coffee dyed in here, in these journals. I haven't been doing coffee dye and distressed stuff lately, too much of it. But I will, I'll get back to it, but I'm enjoying doing a lighter look. That could work. I might look for something that works better because you can see the letter through that paper, but I'll keep it out. So I'll probably end up making something with my Big Shot and my dies. So I can cut shapes similar to these, but smaller. Oh, here's one. Let's see how this looks. Pale yellow. That could work. Yeah. Maybe I'll do that. I'd rather use things that I have than make more stuff. I am going to edge this though because it is pretty pale. I don't want to edge it with vintage photo. I don't want it to look brown. I want to make it look tulipy. That's our word for this journal. Everything must look tulipy. So I'm using Festive Berries. Kind of a cross between pink and red. That helps. And I have a little word I can stamp in there. I can stamp kind. And I think giggle is a cute word. I think giggle is appropriate for springtime. So let's stamp giggle in there. Giggle. Because I am working on other projects that are pressing right now, I don't want to do anything too elaborate in this journal. I want to make it pretty and special because tulips are pretty and special, but nothing really time-consuming and fancy. So that looks good behind her. And it is a card, so you can open it up and have lots of writing space. Look at how pretty that is on the back. Okay. Moving on. I want to use one of these to be a pocket, or both of these maybe, to be a pocket. I know these are not tulips, but it came off of one of those tulip, came off of this, I think. No, it came off the other one. But while I'm here, I have these clipped here because these little tiny envelopes came, or pockets came with the set, and I wondered what I was going to do with the tiny envelopes on these big pages. And I thought I could use this from this little tablet that I got at the estate sale the other day and just accent my writing spot with a little pocket. So we're going to do that. Use something with smaller nozzle. I still haven't cleaned that nozzle out. Oops. I guess these steel pins that I got at the estate sale are just a little bit too big for this nozzle. It works too hard. I'll go back to this one for now. I like those bright colors with this. It's too bad this border here around it, the margin, is so big. It's too big. It's just, I don't think it looks so good like that. So that's a cute little pocket that I could tuck something small in, like a playing card and another journaling card. But I think, I don't know, it's sturdy material. Of course, fabric is, you know, floppier than cardstock, but I think it would work. So I could take one of these many tulip fussy cuts that I have, and apply some to cardstock pieces and use them as little journal cards. I think that one would be a cute one because it's bigger. Get some cardstock. I have to move my tripod a little bit to get to my cardstock. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. My room isn't set up 100% the way I would like it. Not even close, because space is limited. I take advantage of every inch that I can. So what color do I want to use on this page? Maybe a yellow would be nice. I just got this at Walmart. It's a color box pad, and so those pads are good prices. You can get pattern paper. They have not as many as they used to have, of course. Seems like all of our craft supplies in our stores are being reduced. But I can't remember now how much this was. Maybe $5 or $6, so it's a good price. Maybe it was 10, but no more than that. But I think it was 5 or 6. I'll keep this pad handy. Most of these die cuts are from, oh, I don't know why I put that away. I need to cut the other side. I'll do it with this. Most of the die cuts are from Eclectic Eggplant, but this one and some of the others, a few, like these, are from, it was a spring set or Easter set, and it was from either, I think it was either Kay and May or KB and Friends. I think it was Kay and May. I'll try to find it and link both of those digital sets. Now, looking for a corner punch. This is a pretty corner punch with a little flower. I think it's Martha Stewart. Nope, it's Paper Studio. I don't know how to move these. I need somebody with stronger thumbs. It's got papers in there and I don't know how to get them out. So I have to have somebody look at that for me. First, let's glue the pocket down. Do I want to be safe and put it on cardstock? I probably should. Another thing I thought about doing with those tiny little pockets that came with the digital was to put more than one on a page. That's fun to do with pockets. Put multiple small pockets on a page. could have left a border around it. That would have been pretty. I could leave a border at the top and see how it looks. I know I'm recording a lot of videos ahead of time because of doing so many destash and organizing videos that I'm adding to my queue of videos. So just so you know, today is Tuesday, March 15th, I think. Yep, March 15th when I'm recording it. We just had a major snowfall Saturday night, or Friday night, all night Friday and into Saturday. We had, I don't even know, 8 or 9 inches, I think. But it was so warm the next day that it's already almost melted. That's my timer to tell me my hour is up. I moved it into the other room so it wouldn't be so loud. But I'm going to keep going in this video, and then I'll stop and do other things like destash and organizing work. And that can go in there. This art glitter glue is great, but spending the money on the nozzle and the things to, you know, stick in the nozzle, the pins, it all adds up. The glue itself is expensive. I think it should be that way. But I do like the glue very much. I'm wondering if I will need to replace my nozzle. I'll try to clean it first. Try to remember to do that. That looks really pretty on that card. I guess it should go behind that card though. And what can I put on here? I think I like this. It says Tulip soap. That was a brand of soap, I believe, back in the early 1900s or 1800s. But it came with this eclectic eggplant spring flowers digital set. So the spring flowers digital set from Eclectic Eggplant has a lot of spring flowers. I got tulips and pansies out of it, but it has others too. Get lots of pages to cut. What I have in here that let's look at more of the digital stuff. Oh, there's another playing card. I have these two it's just a plain card. There are 2 postcards. Here it is. So those are larger cards, and then I have these little lined cards. This was one that was doubled. I could have made it into a booklet, but I glued it to make it a little card. There's a couple of little tags. And this is from something else. Oh. I've got my big tags that I have to make pockets for. There's another tiny pocket. I do have lots to play with here. This paper had the barcode and some writing, so I'm going to put a side pocket here. This isn't a scrap. I didn't have, I have very few and small, they're small scraps from my scrapbook paper, because the pieces that I cut off the length I ended up putting here, but I have little bits left. This is all I have left. So I can't use those for making my pockets. But they're 9 inches tall. So I'll cut this. I'll cut a strip off it and then cut it at 9 inches and make a pocket. Let's try 3 inches. If it's too much, I can cut it smaller. I think that's a good size because it is a big book. And I'm just going to glue that on. And I can embellish it. I probably should have embellished it before I glued, but that's okay. See if I can get some pretty lace to put on there. Got my little box of narrow laces. This is pretty. Definitely should have done this before I glued it on, because I would have put the white on the inside. I can still do it. It's not dry. Make sure I have the design facing out. How pretty. I like that. Got about 10 minutes left for the video, and I'm not going to want to stop working on this journal, but I do need to work on other stuff. Once I get going on a roll, sometimes it's hard for me to get going, especially at the start of a new journal. So if you ever feel that way, you are not alone. You have all your stuff, but you kind of hem and haw about what direction you want to go with it and how you want to get it to, what kind of look you want it to have, or what kind of cover, all that stuff. I do the same thing with almost every single journal. Once I get started, I just go. Well, that's a simple pocket, but very pretty. Let's put a little more glue on here and leave it there this time. Pretty antique postcard could go in there. This is written in French, I think. Yeah, it's in French. Now, let's look at the ephemera that I made. I have the large tulip tag and the medium tag. I have these. I don't know if I'll use them. I didn't make anything with them because I wasn't sure if I wanted to use them. Those are what I made. So how do I want to include these in the book? Let's do some toward the back. Let's put a pocket here with the big tag. We could do, I already did a fabric pocket in here. It needs to be a nice, kind of a deep, sturdy pocket. And I saw cardstock when I was looking for that pink cardstock. This one has a texture on it. I don't know if you can see. Doesn't seem to be, yeah, there you can see it. But what I could do, if I wanted to do a different color, I could choose the color cardstock I want, because I don't want it to be all pink, and use an embossing folder on it. But I'm not sure. That page is pink. That spring green is pretty. I want the pocket to be about 5.5 inches wide. And maybe 4 inches deep. And I'll make another one while I'm at it. So I'll probably go in the other room and use my Big Shot and emboss these cardstock pieces to make a pocket to slip that into, and I can add another fussy cut to it. So that will happen. After I get all of my pockets and tuck spots and things like that done with the embellishments, then I can, if I have extra of these fussy cuts, I can use them like I would a rubber stamp and decorate pages that need a little bit more. This I left, this is from like a composition type of book, but I left it as a whole folio. It was wide, so I could have folded it like that, and it would have been, you know, just a shorter page. But I left it whole and gave you a nice big flap to write on. Where this hangs off the page, you could just fold it this way and write, and then put it back. So I can add something to that flap. I don't want to take away your writing space, but I feel like I should add something. I just don't know what yet. Oh, I have these strips. That would be pretty on there. This is from the digital set. But I don't have enough for all 3 signatures. Guess I won't put one on both flaps. But I have those for 2 signatures. And I'll use the butterflies. These came with the set too. They're pretty. Might as well glue them all down right now while I know what I'm doing. And I could maybe edge punch a little strip of paper to put on that edge. Guess I'll have to reinforce that edge too. Upside down. I have a couple of little tulip postage stamps, plus a digital postage stamp with a tulip on it. So maybe I'll make some clusters with these. That went there. Now, I would like to use a patterned paper to make another pocket, and that can be for this card. And then I'm going to have to call it quits here. What do I have so far? I have 1, 2 pockets on the front half of the signature, and 1, 2 pockets on the second half. So this can go anywhere I want it to. I think that would be pretty. Fun pocket there. And I have this. Well, this is what we used on that, but I thought it went well with these colors. Look at something different. These are extra pages I had for the second journal I was going to maybe make. Oh, I've got some pages here that I was going to put in a second journal, but I'm not going to take the time to do a second journal now for this year. I'm not really planning on doing tulip journals every year. I could just use this solid green, it's a different shade, and do something to embellish it. I could put some lace on it, or no. Well, let's cut it to the right size first of all. I think the page is 5.5. And I don't want the pocket to be quite as deep as the other one. So let's try 3.5 by 5.25. I know, it's still past time, and I said I was going to stop the video. Oh, I measured that wrong. I know that page is not 5.5 inches because I had to make it wider. It's 6.5 inches, but that's okay. It doesn't have to go all the way across. And I think I will actually put this, back this to some cardstock to make it a little sturdier. So that can go in there, and then we'll have some embellishments on it. I have these little sticky note things that I thought were pretty. And I have a few tulip stickers from the antiquarian sticker book. I don't think I want to add pink into this page though, because it's all... There's pink over here though. I don't know. I'm being wishy-washy. I think I'll use a couple of these antiquarian stickers. I'll figure that out later. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to try to kind of tidy this mess up so I can just focus on doing some organizing. Thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying this, and I will see you soon in the next video. Have a creative day today. I'm going to do some creative organizing. Bye-bye.